it. That's okay. I got some things to say. And I want to make sure I get these out of the way because a lot of people have been asking me, a lot of my personal friends too, they're the ones that are mainly been asking. There's also people online have been asking, on Facebook have been asking too. Yeah, that was the end of season 1. I had to go ahead and end it. I mean, we had to get to that point, so you can't keep running it forever and ever and ever. Something has to change somewhere down the line. So we're going to get right at it. Everybody wants to know, and that's why, the question I was getting, why did it end so abruptly? It didn't end so abruptly, and I know it seemed like that, but the thing that the game plan was to get right into it and then try to give this was my game plan. I never was able to get with my team because we all got personal, when I say issues, I don't mean like no problem. I mean like problems and stuff. We're all cuckoo or whatever. It ain't nothing like that. Personal commitments, okay? We have family. Everybody has, family life, got things to do. I mean, it's not like this is a paying job, and I understand that. But for some reason, we just never could get together enough to get meetings going. So I thought that the best way to do it was just go ahead and go right at it. That way they get the idea of what I'm doing, because if I can't get in touch with nobody, I mean, I have to keep rolling. I can't stop. I have to get on with the plan, go to the next stage. And have I said anything to anybody else, to the family, to the team? Team doesn't really know. Like I said, because they've been busy doing their own things. I've been working her to death doing these things, and I know that she needed a break, and I had to do this. I tried to get a co-host. We failed on that. I failed on that. I'm not going to say we, because that was me. It was 100% me. I failed that. And I always put the blame on myself. I never point fingers at nobody else. If it was me, hands up, let's go. So that's just the way it is. I'm a veteran and I believe in teamwork, and if you're responsible for something, you should, be held accountable, period. And I take the blame. Meetings are just important. You got to have group meetings. There's no way you're going to have any kind of a team without a group meeting. And if we can't get that together, then we're not on the same page. So this ain't a bitch and gripe, and this ain't going into that level there. I'm just explaining because I know several people have been sending little messages to me, and I'm just trying to clear it all. I'm involved in doing the podcast. It takes cost to shirts. You got to pay for. You got to pay for all this stuff. You got to pay for the shirts. You got to pay for the editor subscriptions, the graphics subscription, the podcast site that we use. All that's monthly fees. And I'm not saying it's break me. I'm just saying that it's like anything else. If you keep putting money in, and just it's not producing like you, the bank, expected it to do. Well, what do you think the bank's going to do? The bank's going to pull it. So in other words, if you're not paying the bank, then you're out. So in this case, it ain't a money thing. It's a productivity thing, and it's not the team's fault. It's no one's fault but myself, because I haven't been getting in here and putting enough effort in it, trying to push it as much as I could. So I thought that it would be best, let's just get into season 1. Yeah, so, in the end, anything that is put on air or put on a podcast, put on YouTube, on Facebook, I don't care where you put it, but, I'm wearing that. It's going to all fall back on me, and I have to be very cautious and careful to make sure that that we interview the right people and get the right podcast, because I don't want something put out there that might offend somebody, because I know there's a lot of, stuff out there that people are either afraid of or they tend to get offended by it. And I totally get that. I understand that. And I kind of have people that kind of question me why I won't put them on, Again, there's certain content that I just don't feel that fits Slap Recon. So it's kind of like Slap Recon versus ESP, and ESP is a totally different entity, and I try to keep it that way. And I was hoping to get the right guests to come in or co-host, to come in and orchestrate that. And I'm taking nothing away from my team. Again, it was me. I had to come back in here and do something. I just wasn't finding the time. Like I said, everybody has family life and has things to do. Yeah, it's just the way it is. So I will say this: we had some interesting guests. I mean, I had a lot of fun with some of them, and I can guarantee that Taylor had a lot of fun doing a lot of these podcasts because you get to remember the guests. You hear what they say, and you get to ask them certain questions, and it's kind of like what I do on Slap Recon. On Slap Recon, when I go somewhere, a restaurant or wherever, I don't care where I go, I do that to highlight that place. Period. I've said this in probably 2 or 3 podcasts before, but that's just what it is. That's my purpose. So when we put a guest on, even if they're having an event and they want to just talk about that event, well, we're highlighting them. And when, as the interviewer, you talk to that person, and you know in your heart, and you get that feeling toward the end of this thing, or in the middle, toward the end, that everything you're saying and everything you're making is having this customer or this guest answer. You're giving them the opportunity to highlight themselves. And that's a good thing. I mean, who doesn't want to be in a podcast? Come on. Maybe you don't want to host a podcast, but there ain't nothing wrong with popping your face on TV once in a while, unless you're me. That's why I was trying to get other people to do it. But, I want to thank the ones that were doing this. I thank Under the Moon Paranormal. They were in, she came in and she was helping out, and she did a lot, and I'm very thankful for that. She kind of rescued me at a point, the podcast, at a point where I was kind of like, which way am I going to go with it next, and so then Taylor came in, and together they were able to construct a team that worked real good. Unfortunately, Under the Moon we had to go separate ways, and she had her thing going too. So, and then Taylor Nicole, of course, y'all know her if you watch the podcast, watch that Explain Strange podcast. She's done a lot. She's the one that she was actually the face of Explain Strange podcast, and then who did an excellent job. Real good job. If y'all knew her background, knowing she didn't really have too much into this, but she really took it. She grabbed the reins and she rode with it, and that was a good deal. She did a good job. And Tony Taylor, we didn't get to get Tony in here a lot. Tony was kind of really wanting to get in here and do stuff, but sometimes timing is everything, and I guess it just wasn't that time for him. And so, he kind of like, things came up, and just like me, things were coming up, and I couldn't just, I would want to get back and do this, and I just couldn't do it. So I had to slow down on the guests and everything. However, I will say this. We did have a couple of guests still left to come on, but one of them was going to be able to have to come back later. Another one had to postpone for whatever reasons. Nothing against them. And the thought was we would go ahead and do that, but then I just decided, I said, this was a great breaking point. Let's go ahead and end the season. And I think it's a good deal. I think it's best that the team takes a little break, get themselves together, take care of their business, personal business, all of us. Not just me. I mean, not just them. I want to make sure that I'm throwing myself in this. And with that being said, that I have to focus on Slap Recon, which is where we're at now. So I have a lot planned for Slap Recon. A lot of things are going to come out of come out of it, Slap Recon. So I was kind of letting that go down. And if anybody knows anything about the analytics and stuff, or some of this stuff for the YouTube and all that, you got to know the analytics. And if you watch it and it's doing a deadline, that's not a good zone. I mean, that's not a zone you want to be in. You want to see that, that lifestyle, that life sign, bouncing up and down. But if you're seeing that going across, you have to change something. And ESP was getting that, and I had to either stop or keep putting into it with no result. So come back. All these questions. Let me iterate something. All these questions that I'm asking and putting out in front of you right now are ones that I'm writing down that people have asked me. Okay, so I mean I thought it'd be best that way, and then I'm going to get into Slap Recon. So we're not going to be here too much longer, guarantee it. Come back. Well, it's questionable, okay? Very questionable. I mean, you figure it like this. I'm doing a live today, and I know everybody's got things to do, especially Saturday. I got 0 viewers. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out, was I gone from Slap Recon itself too long? Is that what happened? Or are people just tired of what we're doing, or what I'm doing, should I say? So I don't know. I have to start weighing out options now, but weigh out options for all three of us, because I got to know where everybody stands. We're gonna all have. I'm gonna still have well, I'm not gonna say a meeting with them. We have a hard time getting together, but I'll probably send them a message or send them a video just like this and let them watch it and let them decide what they want to do on it. Because I do have not alternatives. I have an idea. And so far, my ideas haven't really been working. So, do we really want to go that route? If you know what I mean. But I'm the one that's orchestrating everything. So it's up to me to keep this thing going, not them. It's all up to me. I'm the brain behind the deal. And I really try to do it the best I could. So I mean, for whatever it is, I'm not trying to point fingers at nobody, because there's no fingers to point. There's no one for fingers to be pointed at other than me. So, but great team. I had fun working with them, and we had a great time. But I'm not saying, I don't want to sit here and say that you'll never see Tony or Taylor again. I don't know what their thoughts are, but I haven't kicked them out or fired them or anything. This is just Slap Recon's deal. I didn't do anything with ESP. And when it comes to ESP, I keep them as two separate entities, because, this ain't their deal. Slap Recon is not their deal. I'm only explaining strange what's going on with that on my Slap Recon, because I was asked. All right, so I think it's time for Slap Recon to get back to basics. I have to put a little more effort right now into Slap Recon, which is what I'm going to start doing, and because I got to get find out, kind of get my home base is Slap Recon, and that's what started everything. And then when I got to ESP, it kind of like, things just started going down for Slap Recon. ESP was kind of like fluttering, but I was, neglecting Slap Recon. And I'm not going to do that no more. Slap Recon's getting ready to pick up. Future for Slap Recon. Here are the plans. We're going to start hitting the streets. I actually hit them this morning. So I'll be hitting or concentrating on Houston, Pasadena, and Galveston area. So I'll be hitting the street doing some videos. I'm going to be doing videos, and I'm going to be saving them up and editing and putting them away, and periodically they'll pop in. I'm not going to just do one and all of a sudden they're going to pop all in 3 in one day or two. I'm not going to do that. So also I worked on a new logo for the shirts. Slap Recon. Y'all remember these? Oh. These were second ones, I think it was. No, these are the first ones. I believe. Yeah, these are the first. So I got second ones. So anyway, I'm working on a new logo for that. I'll be doing also some this year. Be doing some paranormal tours. I'll be doing some food festivals. I'm going to try to hit as many of those as I can, and festivals themselves, and some horror fest. So I've already actually been invited to a couple of horror fests already. Some that I've already done, and I've done on Slap Recon, and I guess they like my work and asked if I want to come back. So yeah, I'm game. I mean, why not? Have you seen the price to get into some of these places? I mean, it's not like it's free. So I'm going to do that. Something else. Oh, but anyway, I still got the pie one. The pie one's the interesting one, because I got half of that one done. And that's the good thing about it. I did one already. And again, I'm saving that. And it turned out pretty fun. I mean, it was an interesting one. But, the object of the game is to put a couple of them in one video. And that's what I wanted to do. And if not, I'll have to just release that one later. But you will be seeing Slap Recon make this comeback. It's going to start popping in. No, you're going to start seeing videos come in. Like I said, I got a lot of different plans set up for that. There's also going to be some kind of quick food recipes that are going to pop in. Show how to cook things real quick. I've already got, I think, three different videos on food that I've already done where I'm going to cook the food, but I'm not going to be showing me all that. It's just show you the food and kind of like, this is how it goes, real quick kind of a thing, and boom. Then it's all, they're pretty quick. Took a long time to do them, but the end product should be pretty quick. So that's Slap Recon's idea. Hopefully I'll be ordering some shirts for April. And we were going to order shirts for ESP too, but then I decided to stop and stop the season 1. Now, I know at this point I've thrown a lot of information, and you're probably thinking to yourself, what's the deal, but you haven't mentioned whether or not ESP's coming back. Slap Recon ain't going nowhere. So you ain't mentioned whether Explain Strange Podcasting is coming back. I want to be honest with you on Explain Strange. We'll just ESP. Okay, on ESP, we still have some guests that are willing to come out. If I can get a co-host, that's dedicated and would like to have meetings, these kind of meetings, I mean, that would be a lot easier for all three of us. Because see, you can work when one can't, that one can. You get what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get that one person. That's why, sometimes these podcasts, when you're not in studio podcasts, let's put it that way. If it's not an in studio podcast and you're trying to do this with people from all over the place, you got to have people all over the place from other places or from all over the place. So that's kind of like where it's at. So I'll get with the team. And I'm going to see what they suggest. If they're willing, if they still want to be into this, and if they don't, that's fine. I'm hoping they do, but I can't answer for them. I can just answer for myself, and I'll be working on that. And like I said, and if I can get a co-host to come in here, and I thought I had one, but I'm not. I don't think so, because it's hard to get a co-host that's got their own thing going, because I really would like that, because they already have the experience and they kind of know what's going on, but they never got back with me, and I know they get busy at this time, and it even gets busier down the line, for some of these people. So I understand that, so I'm not upset at all. I'll still keep in contact with them. So that ain't got nothing to do with it. So as far as when we'll be back, it depends on you. If you want us back, say something. Go to the ESP and say, hey, I wish you guys would come back. I want y'all to come back. We support y'all. Start supporting. There's a lot of people here on Slap Recon. I got like 500 and something people. If I can get you to go to YouTube and just start hitting subscribe, just subscribe. You don't even have to watch us. Just subscribe it and watch it once in a while. Watch some of the old videos. Watch what we got up there. Kind of look at some of the content that we have posted. So just, that's the best way to tell us that that you would like for us to come back. Show us, show them, show all of us, show the team. You can put it in the comments down here and say, I want you back. We want ESP back. But for this right here is for Slap Recon, and Slap Recon is getting ready to get on it again. So I'm gonna I got to get this thing going again. So for the team's sake, even go to Facebook. If you're not a friend of Facebook on ESP, go over there. And make a comment. You send a message. It doesn't matter. Friend it. As long as you friend, and then when you watch the videos, you hit that thumbs up and whatnot. That's the best thing you can do. I told you in the beginning. I've told you this before. Thumbs up is the best way to let that podcaster know that you're doing your job. Because if you get a video and it posts on YouTube and it's sitting there and ain't nobody watched it, or no one thumbs up, you got 10 people watching it, but you got no thumbs up, you kind of feel like I didn't do a good job on that. And that's the best way to let them know that that they did a good job. So show us that way. But I hope you enjoyed this live. I know it was a live, but it's not going to be live. You're going to see it on YouTube probably later on today, and that's if you watch it. So I hope that you watch it, and I hope that y'all continue to follow Slap Recon and stick with us, and let's make Slap Recon get further. And same thing with the in the streets. As remember before, when y'all caught me in the streets, look for me again. I'll be dressed in Slap Recon attire, probably wearing the same shirt, same hat, one of these shirts, one of the two shirts, and maybe one of the new ones. And when the new ones come out, those are going to be for sale, strictly for sale. I'm not going to give any of those away unless you catch me in the field and you stop me and say, you know who I am. You might get a new one. Yeah, you might get an old one, but you get lucky. It's like a scratch-off ticket. Who knows what you're going to get, right? So thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys' support. The ones that are supporting, I ask that all you that are not supporting or haven't supported too much, please support. I mean, it doesn't cost you nothing. Subscribing doesn't cost you nothing. All you do is just hit the button, subscribe, and you're not going to get hit with a bunch of emails and all this other crap or whatever. That's not how it works. But some people don't know. I mean, some people don't. But many of y'all do. And I know you do. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you catching the slap. And that's the end of this slap chat. And this is slap chats number 2. So I know I was getting them all wrong, but number 2 I tried to put on YouTube. For some reason I just couldn't get the YouTube live going right. So I blame myself for that. So, but this is actually slap chats number 2. And I'll be putting these out I'll try to get them every week, once a week, but they'll probably go out, bi-weekly or something like that. And then sometimes they're going to be during the week. They're not going to be on Saturday, always on Saturdays. So I see right there 0 views. Tells me that I shouldn't be doing this on Saturday. And I know not on the Sunday. So that's going to do it. Slap's going to let it go here. I appreciate you guys watching. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube right now, thank you very much for supporting again, okay? That's going to be a Slap is out.